Many of us have followed many sports for many years now, but that does not necessarily mean that we know each and everything about that particular sport, especially the things that may have happened many years ago. So I thought, why not share with you guys some fun facts about these sports? And I thought, where better to start than with the sport of basketball, because it is something that is trending right now, especially with the NBA finals going on, and the fact that many people have taken to the sport of basketball after watching the great Michael Jordan's documentary, The Last Dance. So, the sport of basketball until the year of 1929 was not played with the ball that we know today. It was initially played with a soccer ball. Yeah, you heard me right. For many years, players played the game of basketball with a soccer ball, and it took them many years to realize that a soccer ball cannot be used to play the sport of basketball, because the soccer ball is a very heavily laced ball, and it is something that is designed to be played on grass grounds rather than flat surfaces, and it is a ball which is very difficult for the players to dribble on the hard surfaces. After many years, the organizers and the players finally realized that, and then the ball that we know today was designed and it was started to be used in the sport of basketball. Next up, especially in the early 1900s and in the late 1800s, there was no concept of dribbling in the sport of basketball. Yeah, the whole concept of basketball at that point in time was the players used to pass the ball from one player to another, and a player used to take the shot. In fact, if you dribble the ball, if the ball touched the floor at any point in time, it was considered to be a foul. Imagine that happening in today's basketball. That would be so weird to watch. It would not at all fit in together. Next up, one of the most iconic shots to be played in a basketball game, the slam dunk. There was a period in time in the history of basketball that the slam dunk shot was banned. There was a period of 9 years rather when the association deemed it to be an illegal shot, because they considered that the slam dunk is not a skillful shot, and makes the players prone to many injuries, which is why they deemed it to be legal. Imagine that being a rule that still is followed today in the sport of basketball. We couldn't have seen so many great players make those iconic slam dunks that we are so fond of. Next up, from one iconic shot to another iconic piece of merchandise related to the sport of basketball, the Air Jordans. It is something that everyone from our generations and many generations associate with the sport of basketball. It was Michael Jordan's official shoe, the GOAT's official shoe, and everyone wanted to have that. But when Nike introduced the Air Jordans 1, which Michael wore for the first time in a friendly match at the Madison Square Garden, it was red and black in color. The NBA after that match told Nike that this shoe will not be allowed to be worn in the NBA, because at that point in time there were certain dress rules and uniform codes that the NBA had implemented, and because the shoe was red and black in color, the iconic first ever Air Jordan 2 we have made was in fact banned from the sport of basketball. Later on, of course, Nike came up with many other Air Jordans which fitted into the norms of the NBA's uniform codes, and the rest, as we know, is history. Next up, one of the most important things that has been a part of the sport of basketball since the mid 1900s is the concept of a shot clock. Now, the shot clock in the sport of basketball is a 24-second timer within which a team has to make a shot. Otherwise, it is the end of that particular play. Now, this concept was introduced because earlier what used to happen in the sport of basketball was that a team used to go ahead and start leading in a particular game, and it was all about defense from that point in time. They used to just get possession and run down the clock and finish the game as is. So it started to become a very mundane and boring sport, and to turn it into a fast-paced sport that we know of today, the shot clock concept was introduced, and it is one of the oldest traditions and rules to be followed in the sport of basketball. Well, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys learned something about the sport of basketball from this. That's it for today. Stay tuned for more and keep watching. Thank you.